we will be free. For when the rising tide is turned in every London quarter, Parliament comes crashing down with Robert's Rules of Order.
You said Montana?
What
does Montana have to do with anything?
Well, it depends on how fast you're speeding.
Oh my God, you're giving me a headache. So it's me.
30
I'm the odd
30
one.
days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest of 31 except February.
Okay.
Yeah.
February never has 30.
No.
It sometimes has 29.
Right.
Which like did this year.
But how many months have 28 days? All of them.
You're right. Okay.
That joke's old too, folks.
You know that I don't know any
I
of
specialize in ancient jokes.
those. Minister of Funny Walks. All right. Tuesday, March 31st. Ooh. I don't get this one. Okay, I'm going to read it. You don't like how I read it ahead of time and then start doing my commentary.
I do it too, so.
A motion to amend a special rule of order
Oh, God.
not... Okay, but it gets worse. A motion to amend a special rule of order not pending.
Okay, that actually makes it a little easier. Keep going.
Does it? Because it makes no sense to me.
Keep going.
Colon. A, is not debatable. B, can be adopted by a 2/3 vote in previous notice. C, can be adopted by a majority vote. D, is out of order.
It ain't A or D. I'm going to say B because it's a special rule. You still need, and it already exists. That's why it's not pending. Then you're dealing with a 2/3 to suspend the rules in the first place. The notice part makes me want to instinctively say a majority with notice, but that's not a choice. And I forget, what does C say?
Is that C is can be adopted by a majority vote.
That one I don't think goes there because of the notice requirement. So I'm going to stick with B.
You're correct.
Holy crap, I got something on special orders correct.
And this confused me. A, not debatable.
That's boring.
Okay, I didn't get what not pending meant. Once you explained it, now I'm good with that. So out of order would be wrong. Oh, did you notice my little...
You're an anarchist? Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw them on Facebook.
Oh, they're cutie, aren't they? All right. Anyway, I'm very impressed with myself. So out of order and A, so A and D out of there. So
Yeah, neither one of those made any sense.
So we're between 2/3 and previous notice and majority vote. And I actually am confused because I would think both of those are right. But majority vote of the entire assembly.
Yeah.
Of the not majority vote of those present and
Right.
voting. So let's see where I'm getting mixed up here. 88,
88.
3 through 7.
88 miles an hour.
Because I know you can do it by a majority of the entire membership.
You see this sucker get to 88, you're going to see some serious shit.
88.
What lines?
3 through 7.
3 through 7. Oh yeah, raced right there. Huh.
See, though majority is an allowable alternative.
Of the entire membership, but it doesn't say. Doesn't say that in the. Damn it.
I know.
It doesn't say it in the question. It just says majority vote.
I know, but still.
So
you can get away with lack of previous notice if you get a majority vote of the entire membership.
right. However, that's unusual to happen.
It wouldn't be unusual, though, if it's a special rule of order for a board. Because, say...
For the board, yeah. But for, say, a special rule of order for, say, a convention, then you need everybody in the membership to do it. And let's face it, Philip, CEO of 45,000 members vote, it ain't going to happen.
It ain't going to happen. But on a board, it can happen. I don't like that majority vote without notice. Because if it requires notice in any circumstance, it should require notice in all circumstances, in my opinion.
I can't disagree with that.
Because
with one exception.
Okay.
And that's if you're really... Okay, we're talking special rules of order, so it's a little different.
Right.
But I've had a case in the past where we literally had to compose a bylaw on the floor, on the fly, because of a problem. And that had absolutely no previous notice because of the circumstances. But because of the way that the bylaws, this was California, were written at the time, it still needed a majority to pass. We had just 2/3 suspend the rules to hear it, which passed, because people knew what the hell we were doing and why. But then it passed overwhelmingly, just because of the we were literally sitting down at a table. This is myself, Aaron Starr, and a third person. Yes, I actually worked with Aaron Starr on something peaceably.
Oh, I work on a lot of things with him
And
peaceably.
we did this. We came up with this out of nowhere on a fly, and we got it passed in a hurry, which was at the time kind of remarkable. But that had no prior notice, but it still required a majority to pass it because of the
Was
way
it
the
majority of the
California-
entire membership?
majority of the convention,
Okay.
which wasn't the entire membership for California, obviously.
And what was it, a majority of registered delegates or just a majority of the delegates in the room? There's a difference.
It was registered delegates, but they were all
Okay.
in the room at the time. We did a quorum call before to make sure.
I want to give Mr. Starr a compliment here because we joke about him a lot. But really, we joke about him a lot, but he sets himself up for it. But
Yeah.
Aaron is a very, very fair chair. I was on the Johnson Advisory Committee with him, and he was really the only moderate-ish person. Everyone else were flaming radicals.
You weren't around him in 2004 when he was California chair with the so-called povertarian argument.
Well, I'm only going to speak from my experience.
Which means maybe he's grown some.
On that committee, he was clearly not in agreement with the rest of the committee on anything. But he went out of his way to make sure we were wording things to get what we wanted, even though he didn't want what we wanted. And he could have easily have just let us put forth shitty wording, and it would have failed. But he went out of his way. So ever since then, I have had a very high opinion of Aaron's ability when he's put in a position where he has to be neutral. In my experience, he's been neutral. Now, I would say that he and I, in that, are a lot alike. A lot of people are reticent to elect me chair of committees because they know how I am when I'm on a committee. And it's completely different. You've been one where I'm a completely different person because I have a different responsibility.
Right.
And Aaron...
Check your bias at the door and do the damn job.
Right. So Aaron and I can both be obnoxious as hell when we're members of committees, but we're completely different when we're chairs of committees. But that's my experience. I know you have maybe a prior bad one. I can't. Was that with the cruise ship?
No, that was after the cruise ship.
Okay.
The cruise ship was bad enough. That was just plain old stupid.
Yeah, but I can just say in my experience, and maybe it's different with a small intimate committee, but Starchild did not want him to be chair. And after, I think he wanted to try to remove him. I don't know, whatever, but I got in a little kind of a, not confrontation, but a little tiff with Starchild saying, no, I think Aaron's doing a fantastic job chairing this committee. So that's been my experience.
Actually, I signed on to some of his minority reports in the last platform committee in 2018, which is, it sounds weird, but I actually agree with the positions.
Yeah, and he's a good writer, and he can debate people into pretzels. He really can. It's easy to make jokes, but, you know, to me, the jokes sometimes make people underestimate him, which is a big mistake. But let me give you here, back to this thing, why I'm having a big issue with this. Let me give you, and maybe, I'm math is hard type person, okay? I know, like, that Barbie was for me.
Math class is tough.
I don't care who it pissed off, that Barbie was for me. This situation, say you have a board of 10 people, and they all show up.
Yeah.
Well, no, let's not have them all show up. You have a board of 10 people and 8 of them... Never mind, I answered my own question. If they all show up, there's no difference between previous notice and majority vote. Between the 2/3 and the majority of the entire membership. So if you have a 10-person board, what is a 2/3 vote?
7.
Oh, so it'd be between 7 and 6.
Yeah, because it'd be 6 and 2/3.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
but it's still so close. I'm not, math is hard.
Well, the sign says that it's 4 quarters for an hour, but a quarter only gets you 15 minutes. Yeah. So if my math is correct, that's not an hour.
That's not an hour.
Not an hour.
But it is. And also...
A quarter, 15 minutes?
Math is hard. I just don't like that. I don't like by a margin of 1, you can get away with not noticing something that in any other circumstance would be noticed.
Yeah, I understand why you say that.
To me, it should only be able to be adopted by a majority vote of the entire membership if that number is higher
Than the 2/3.
than the 2/3. But it's not in the circumstance I just gave.
Right.
It's lower. So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, now we got it. On a 10-person board, you could get away without having notice and with a lesser vote.
Right.
And that's not right.
Yeah. Yeah, just to clarify, folks, majority here meaning of everybody, which is a larger quantity than a board, which is just 2/3 with previous notice,
Right.
be a lot smaller value.
Right.
So the majority in the large group would be a lot larger vote than the 2/3 in the smaller group.
And some people would say, well, if all 10 showed up, what does it matter? Because they didn't suffer from not having previous notice.
Well, they should have gotten previous notice.
But they're
Read
not
the
the
damn
only
emails.
people interested. There could have
Yeah.
been members of the public that would have attended if there were previous notice to try to persuade the board to vote against.
Right.
So that is a weird situation, and I think Robert should say only when that is
Yeah.
a larger number.
The way they worded the question could have been better in relation to what's in the text.
But what's in the text, I don't agree with either. But
Right.
anyway, all right, we're done with March. This was me. Yeah, I'm the odd one this time,
March.
right?
Well, I know. I read this off to you.
No, I read it. Not pending. Remember, I got confused. Boy, my confusion is really going over to you. Answered it.
No, you answered it.
No, I
You
didn't.
did?
You answered it and you got it right, and you said even I got something right with
That's correct. Okay. March can march away.
Man, I feel better about myself.
Have another beer.
We now have my husband as a studio audience again.
Okay.
Okay.
We must
Only
pause.
for a short time. I was just thought I'd come down and brighten your day.
Yeah, it's very bright
In
now.
that case, wear something not great.
All right, we're adjourning for March, and we'll be back.
You pause for a moment.
Viva! Let's hear the opposition side. Like a stubborn donkey's bray. All opposed? You say nay. Opposed! Opposed! The motion carries anyway.